The Villisca Axe Murders, America's Hinterkaifeck on June 10, 1912. The small town of Villisca, Iowa, awoke to a nightmare. Inside a quiet white house on East 2nd Street, 8 people had mysteriously lost their lives. 6 were members of the Moore family. 2 were young house guests, all taken during the night by an unknown intruder. The crime horrified the nation, and more than a century later, it remains unsolved. The family Josiah Moore, 43, was a successful businessman. He lived with his wife Sarah, 39, and their 4 children, Herman, 11, Mary, 10, Arthur, 7, and Paul, 5. They were respected in the community, active in church and business life. On June 9th, the family attended a church event. 2 neighborhood children, Lena and Ina Stillinger, 12 and 8, were invited to sleep over afterward. It was a decision that sealed their fate. The night. Sometime after midnight, a figure entered the house. Using Josiah's own axe, they moved quietly through the rooms. The parents were found first, then the children. Finally, the Stillinger sisters, 8 lives, all taken before sunrise. The discovery. By morning, neighbors noticed something was wrong. The house was silent, curtains still drawn. Mary Peckham, the Moore's neighbor, grew concerned. When no one answered her knocks, she contacted Josiah's brother Ross. Ross entered the home. What he discovered would stay with him forever. The entire household gone, police were called. But in 1912, crime scene preservation was poor. Curious townsfolk streamed through the home, disturbing evidence. The investigation was compromised from the start. The strange clues. Even so, investigators uncovered unsettling details. Every mirror in the house had been covered with cloth. The bodies were carefully draped with blankets or clothing. On the kitchen table, a plate of food sat untouched. A bowl of water hinted the intruder had washed up. The axe leaned quietly against a wall. An oil lamp, dimmed with its chimney removed, was left burning, perhaps to move through the house unseen. Whoever had been there did not flee immediately. It seemed they stayed for some time. The investigation detectives searched for answers. There was no sign of robbery, no valuables missing. The careful staging suggested thought, not chaos. But the motive remained unclear. The suspect 1, Frank Jones. Josiah had once worked for Frank, a prominent Villisca businessman. After Josiah left to start his own company, resentment lingered. Some whispered Jones wanted revenge, but no evidence tied him directly. Suspect 2, Reverend George Kelly, a traveling preacher who attended the church service that night. Kelly was eccentric with a troubling past. He confessed under pressure, then recanted. The confession was ruled unreliable and he was acquitted. Suspect 3, a serial killer. Around the same time, similar axe murders occurred across the Midwest. Families in Colorado, Kansas, and Illinois were found slain in their homes. Some believe Villisca was part of this pattern, the work of a transient killer who vanished as quickly as he appeared. Despite these leads, no one was ever convicted. The theories. Theory 1, a crime of passion. The focus on Josiah suggested personal hatred. The covered mirrors hinted at guilt or shame. Theory 2, a ritual act. The way the scene was staged, mirrors covered, bodies arranged, led some to believe in a ritualistic or symbolic motive. Theory 3, a random killer. The wave of similar cases across the Midwest made some believe this was part of a larger spree. Theory 4, inside knowledge. Some suggested the intruder hid in the attic before the family came home, waiting silently until everyone was asleep. The aftermath, the murders devastated Villisca. Fear swept through the small town. Doors once left open at night were now locked tight. The Moore house stood for decades, a constant reminder. Over time, it developed a reputation as one of America's most haunted homes. Visitors spoke of footsteps, voices, and cold touches in empty rooms. In 1994, the house was restored to its 1912 condition and opened for tours. Today, it stands as both a museum and a chilling monument to an unsolved crime. Unsolved. More than a century later, the Villisca axe murders remain one of America's darkest mysteries. 8 victims, no arrests. No justice, the questions linger. Who entered the Moore home that night? Why cover the mirrors and stay inside after? And how did the intruder vanish without a trace? The case remains frozen in time like the little house on East 2nd Street itself. Silent, haunted, unanswered. Please like and subscribe for more true crime, horror, and mystery stories.